Hello, everyone. Woo! The hour, the minute, the second, the day, the week, the month we'll be looking forward to all year long is finally here. If you are here and you can see me and you can hear my voice, I want you to use the comments and tell me where you are watching from. Where are you watching from? Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are streaming, where you're joining us from this lovely 11th day of November in the blessed year of 2024. I'm the mechanic and I'm so excited to be here today. It is, of course, the 17th anniversary special. We are celebrating the Queen of Talk. We're celebrating the queen of the mic. We're celebrating the titanium. We're celebrating the microphone mogul. We are celebrating a mentor, a leader. We are celebrating an event host par excellence. We are celebrating the best, the most sought after speaker and master of ceremonies on the continent. Where are you watching us from? Stephen says, I am watching from Songota, Ogun State, the gateway state. Yeah. Good evening, Stephen. So good to have you here. Where are you watching from? MCFA, watching from the capital city. I would want to guess that is Abuja, the FCT. You are welcome. You are welcome. Where are you watching us from? We're about to have a blast. We're about to have a show. We're about to have a carnival, a value-packed carnival. Olutomi Sodikbo is watching from Abuja. You're joining us from Weekcase City. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. We have Noram Clara from Anthony Village, Lagos, Nigeria, the center of excellence. Love Diamond, you're watching from Port Harcourt. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have Arjanu Marivon watching from Cameroon. How is Cameroon today? And how was your day? Dennis from Port Harcourt, Presh Talker from Lagos. We have a lot of amazing people here. Brave the host from Lagos, Nigeria. We have Sibukele Maposa watching from. Hey, you're saying hello. Where are you watching? Where are you joining us from? We have Jadisola is saying hi, TM. Hi, Jadisola. You're joining us from Maryland, Lagos. Sibukele Mafosa from Zimbabwe, Harare. I don't know if you're in Harare, but I think that's the capital city. How is Zimbabwe today? Thank you for joining us. Alpha Rizla. Is it Rizla or Rizia? Rizla watching from England in the UK. Keke or Kiki from the FCT. You're welcome. Stella, you're welcome. Stella says she's representing Aso Rock. Okay. That means this is a presidential session. We have heads of governments, parastatals. We have a lot of people here joining us. Rena is joining us from the nation's capital. So I think we have an FCT caucus. So please, all those of us joining from the FCT, gather around somewhere. Let's share puff puff. You have your own special puff puff and small zobo. Those of us who are watching from the UK, we have special puff puff and zobo for you. Those watching from Lagos, from the Center of Excellence, we have gala, a little bit of gala and a little bit of coke for you, so you can enjoy yourself. Fumo City watching from Ondo, the Sunshine State. You are welcome. Okay, Okama is saying it's pronounced KK. You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you so much for joining us, MCD Marcus, everybody who has created time to be here today to celebrate the Queen of Talk, to interact with the Queen of Talk, to learn from the Queen of Talk, to experience the Queen of Talk as we have done these 17 years. You are welcome. Before we jump right into the flood of value, I want you to do something for me. Just one thing. I want you to share the link to this video on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook, and any other social media platform of choice. Your WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, which other one? Twitter, X now. Any social media platform you know your gang belongs at. Share this link with them and tell them, you know what? I mean, I want to enjoy something right now. I am going to swim in Valley right now, but I am not doing this alone. I need you to join me. And then invite them using our link, our humble link. Please share our humble link with your friends, share with your circle, and get them to join us. Stella says we don't do puff puff. We bring on the caviar. Okay. We'll do that. We will do that. So please share the link, share the link, share the link. Let's get these numbers up. Let's get these numbers up. Let us get these numbers up. Also, another thing I want you to do for me is what you're seeing right on the screen. Like this video, because when you like a video like this, a live video like this, the algorithm, the oracles of YouTube, the oracles of social media have a way of distributing what we're doing here so that somebody who's just walking past will jump right into it and get the same value you're getting. So please help us like this video. All right, like this video. It's just at the top left, just beneath the bottom left of where my screen, where you can see me, the top left, just above the comments. Just like, also share, and then subscribe to this channel, right? Subscribe to this channel. If you're not a subscriber to the Joyce Daniels YouTube page, you are missing a lot of fun stuff. You're missing a lot of educational stuff. There's a lot of stuff that you will not find on our Instagram that you will find here. There's a lot of value that you will not find on our X platforms, but you will find here. There's a lot of value that you may not hear us speak at events, but you will find them here. So please share, like, subscribe. I can say SLS. I hope no Emir from the north is envious, but yeah, SLS. Share, like, and subscribe. All right. Dr. George, welcome. Dr. George is saying the next Mandela of our time. You are welcome to this very special event. I have looked forward to doing this. So you're all welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are celebrating an enigma. We are celebrating the Queen of Talk. In 2007, she made a decision that this gift of the gab that she has will become structured, will become industrialized. And since that day till now and into the future, that has not changed. We are products of that excellence. We are products of that decision. We are direct beneficiaries of that decision. And we are here 17 years on to celebrate the Queen of Talk without our dues and with your fire emojis, with your clap emojis. I want you to welcome with me the celebrant. Oh yeah, the celebrant, because she's celebrating. If I don't see the claps, if I don't see the fire, I will not bring the Queen of Talk. I need fire. So please use a comment. I need clapping emojis. I need fire emojis. Let there be an inferno, an inferno, as I bring to the podium today's celebrant, our celebrity, the Queen of Talk, Her Majesty, my coach, my mentor, your mentor, my guide, your guide, my coach JD, the celebrant, the one, the only, Her Imperial Majesty, Joyce Daniels. Woo, 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 woo.
Well, mechanic, you are something. Good to see you. Good evening, everyone. So glad to have us all here. Thank you for joining us tonight. I can see all the fire. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You are welcome. I know. Usually you're the one who says this at events, but I'm saying this today. Our celebrant.
You're so strange to be on this side.
You're looking like what is missing is a cake and maybe a little bit of.
Are you sure there's no cake around here?
You never can tell how these things work. You're so welcome. It's a privilege to be here and to have you here and to have this August, even if it's November,
Yeah.
audience with us. We are celebrating you today for all the value
Thank
that you
you.
bring, for the value that you are, for the grace, the poise, and the charisma that you embody, and the various streams and floods of value that you have
Mm,
washed, that you have immersed us in, that you have soaked us in fact,
mm,
that you've used to move us from point A to point B and to point
mm,
Z. You are
mhm.
absolutely welcome, and we celebrate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh yes. Usually when you go to events, it's towards the tail end that you say, "Oh, celebrant, can you give a vote of thanks and say something?" But yeah, we're going to start with that.
Okay.
Because you are an unusual person. You are very
Okay.
unusual in the way you do your thing. So
Mhm.
let me ask, how does it feel to be 17? How does it feel? How does it feel?
Ah, I'm still such a young girl. I feel mature. I'm maturing. Next year I'm going to be 18. I'll be fully an adult. So I'm still a pre-adult. Feels great. It feels like
You are
yesterday. It feels like I think my all my reflections today have just been gratitude. I'm so grateful to have had the privilege to do what I absolutely love, what I chose to do, not that I found myself doing, I decided and I stayed focused and consistent. I've stayed deaf and blind to the things I don't want to hear or see. I'm grateful to have had fun at every event and made money from it. I'm grateful for the quality of people that I know and I have in my network because of the work I do. The truth is, almost 60 to 70% of the people I interact with so much more are people I've met on this journey. And so I'm grateful and I'm really grateful. 17 years. It's been a wonderful ride.
wonderful. That's profound. Gratitude, overwhelming gratitude,
Mm.
gratitude for uh, to quote something I saw from a post of yours, that money cannot buy gratitude.
Oh, the mechanic, we keep
Now,
missing you.
okay, I think it's a glitch,
Okay.
but we're back.
Yes.
Can you
You're
see
back.
me?
Yes.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
I can hear you
All
clearly
right,
now.
all right. Okay, like a chunk of us, yeah, it's just this young MC seated somewhere in Unilag in 2019, I think April, at volunteering at some event, and then somebody hands a book over to me and says, "The Mechanic, have you read?" Then it was just Augustine, yeah. Have you read this
Mm.
book? And I said, "No." And then he asks, "Are you an MC?" I felt like I committed a
Mhm.
sin. I'm like, which one is it? It's more like when you ask a deacon at church, "Have you read the Bible?" And they, what? Which one is Bible? I'm like, he made it seem that way. I was like, okay, which of the see what the is it one of the seven great sins or something? And then he says, no, there is this book. It's called Mastery. And then he just places the book gently on my lap and says, this is my copy, but I want you to read it and then get it back to me when you're done. I said, okay. Then I took that book. Before then, I was just MC who I was comfortable just doing events, platform. I was happy. I was doing what I loved. The passion was there. I mean, of course, that's why I started. But I knew there was something bigger. I knew there was something greater. I could see the end. I could see these
Mm.
great MCs, the IQ Sakudiwas of this world, the Alibabas of this world, and the kind of grace that they command, and the fees that they command, and the professionalism with which they do their hostings. And I want that.
Mm.
I covet that, but there's a gateway. I knew there was something missing, and then I found it tucked neatly in the pages of that book as soon as I started reading. And I read that book back to back for over a week and a few days. Yeah, by the time I was done reading the book, it was well worn out. So Isaac Erikemu, in case you're watching, my apologies. I know I did a number on that book, but that was the start of something beautiful and wonderful. The star was born 4 years down the line. Here I am hosting the author of that book. Now, I want to ask, before we go into questions, I can see a lot of questions dropping. Please, can you just sheath your swords? I know the time to unleash is there, but sheath your swords for a little bit, and then a time will come, we'll start taking these questions one after the other. There are a lot of questions from the survey and questions from here. So we're going to answer 17. Most of the questions are in clusters. So I know JD's character when it comes to answering questions is that she does a lot of blank entries. So one answer may just cover 10 questions. But then, backtracking, what would you say inspired you to write Mastery? What inspired you? Like
All right,
said,
thank you.
You know what? I feel like let me put something down to instruct people. What inspired you? That's one. It's an octopus question. The other thing is because there are a lot of people here who are speakers, who are budding, intermediate, or pro, and they have this urge to write. At least I've encountered a few people, and I think some are on this call, and reflected on some of the questions I've seen. Maybe this will also attend to some of the questions, and they are like, I want to write, but there's this fear of I don't know much. How do you strike that balance? And I say, okay, let me pen something down. So what inspired you, and can you translate that to inspire somebody to say, okay, put something down?
All right.
Somebody.
All right.
Thank
you very much. One, by 2013, I had started training MCs in live workshops, 3-day workshops. Then it was 2-day workshops, then 1-day workshops. And I realized that a lot of lives were absolutely transformed by attending those workshops. Businesses were taking off, and I wanted the material that we're teaching at those trainings, those workshops, to be in the hands of as many more MCs as possible, as many more people who wanted to be MCs. And so the easiest form will be the compressed version of the workshop, which was the book. So for my 10th MC-versary in 2017, I compressed the training into that book, and that's how Mastery was born, and it was launched, put forward to the world for my 10th anniversary. How did I put it together? Not only did I take a lot of the material, not everything, but a lot of the material from the workshops, but I also took questions that MCs had been asking, lots of questions, like some of the questions I'm already seeing in the chat, and then I answered the questions in the book. So there is the hard copy, the ebook, and the audio, because I really wanted to try as best as I could to reach out to the different types of learners, those who want to read, those who want to listen, of course, and those who want to scroll on their phones. For those people who want to write, I say writing for me is about legacy, what remains of you when you are gone. So if there isn't much to you, there's not much to write. It happens, but I do not agree with the idea of researching just to write. I agree with you are full. There's so much you want to say, and then you pour it out into a book and give it to the world. However, if you really want to write, you feel you know some things you want to put down, then put it together, piece it together, and give it to the world. I've started answering another question, and I will go on. Overthinking is a thief of destiny. We call it analysis paralysis. Some of the most successful people in the world, and I dare say one of the greatest successes, one of the greatest factors to my success, is that I don't overthink. I usually do not overthink. I do first, then I think later. Does it burn me? Maybe a little bit here and there, but it gives me better results because I have done it. And when I've done it, I can learn from it. I can teach someone else, but I will rather do and correct what I have done than not do because I'm overthinking. Let me strike the balance to say that it is okay to do your research. That's not overthinking. To do your market survey, your all those line items that could give birth to a good product, but let it not tip over to overthinking. They're two different things.
All
I yield the
right.
mic.
That's profound. I like that you said that you have to have it in you, so much so that you're squeezed and then the inks fall onto pages, you know, that assert your authority or experience in that field. I like that. It's reflective of something I watched from the late great Quincy Jones, where he said, no, of course, his was music. So he said that your music cannot be greater than you are as a human being. So that the
Truly.
moment he understood that, he had to now start working on his person, creating his experiences as a person, being very intentional about who he was as a person. So that reflected that intentionality. That class started rubbing off on his profession. So yes, it is good to research. You research to be sure that what you're putting out is credible, is or also to make sure that what you're putting out can be referenced, you know. But then there is a caveat, because how can you be a pathfinder when all you think about is, oh, is this road straight? Does this road lead somewhere? Sometimes you just have to step in and start going, and then you discover the routes. Like they say, there's a popular maxim that I saw somewhere that talks about starting off and all that. That goes something along the likes of, life is not static. That is why books have revised versions. You know, where you see somebody write a book and then you see something like 10th anniversary revised, which means the author in that 10 years has had to think a lot, has had to experience something that alters his perspective. And then he's trying to tell you, yeah, I know I said there are 7 habits of highly effective people in 1972, but now it's like there are 10, you know, because the person has is that open. Education is the ability to replace a closed mind, an empty mind with an open one, right? That is education. An empty mind, there is nothing
All right,
inside, then opened.
let's jump
All
to
right,
the questions.
moving on, please, moving on. Now, these are event questions. I'll probably take 3 and then we'll start taking the questions.
That's fine.
Share with us, in these 17 years, what would you say has been one of your greatest, and to an extent the greatest, challenges that MCs face on stage, if any, that you know you've had to face and then over time surmount or navigate or take care of in some way? What part of an event, you know, stresses masters of ceremonies? Is it planning? Is
All
it
right.
this? Is it what?
Okay. The greatest challenge that I have encountered, and I believe most masters of ceremonies will encounter, is unpreparedness or inadequate preparedness. Full stop. We didn't ask enough questions, or we didn't ask the right questions, or we didn't ask the right people, or we didn't do enough research, or we didn't prepare enough in one form or the other. Unpreparedness, inadequate preparedness, inappropriate preparedness would be the greatest challenge I would see to any master of ceremonies on any stage. The more prepared you are for an event, the more likely you are to deal with what we call downtimes. If something comes up suddenly, unexpectedly, you're more likely to know how to handle it because you prepared. Now, preparation includes preparing for downtimes, preparing for possibilities, going through some scenario-based preparation to say, what if this speaker doesn't show up? What if this thing is moved around? What if XYZ? So you're going through all those possible scenarios and preparing for them. When we don't do that, that is when we are most tense. That's when we're more likely to make errors. And that is when we usually mess up. So unpreparedness is the thief of success. Did I go
All
through
right.
it or have I gone through it? Yes, a few times. I will say, at the risk of sounding immodest, it's been very few times, very few. I don't think I have attended more than 5 events in my 17-year career where I was unprepared or inadequately prepared. Maybe 5, not more. The crown was put on by being very prepared.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
Moving on. There's a question I'd like to ask. Okay, let me just take one from here, and then I'll move on
Mm-hmm.
to the ones, specific ones that I found to be very interesting. Uh, O is saying, O, I don't know what O means.
Mm-hmm.
O is saying, how were you able to stay consistent in over 17 years, irrespective of challenges such as naysayers, low pay at the beginning of your career, and second guessing yourself when, let's say, you are a jack, so many traits that your hands are good at. So how did you stay consistent? Was there any time you had
All
to say,
right.
let me do something else? How did you stay consistent?
One, before I started, I quit my job in March of 2007. I left the job in April of 2007. I left Port Harcourt and moved to Lagos in May. And I was without work between May and November 2007. In that period, I did MC some events as a hobby, which I had done already for almost 15 years. But my major focus in that period, the reason why I quit my job was I wanted to find myself, and I wanted to find a business or a job or a vocation that was truly true to type, fit to me. I was doing well on my job. I was making great commissions and I had an official car. So I wasn't doing a poor job. It was a really good job. And thank you to Mr. Charles Anusim, who was my boss at that time. So the major activity I did in the period was I was studying biographies, autobiographies, business books. It wasn't the way it is now. So I used to go to the British Council Library to read, because then internet was almost, how many of us could browse on our phones? How many of us even had the kinds of phones that could browse properly in 2007? So I used to go there to read and just study. A few things were clear to me: that number one, a business was more likely to succeed if you had stayed on with it for up to 5 years. So rule number one was, Joyce, you will stay with it for 5 years. Something else I took out of one of the books I read was, if you stayed with that business for up to 10 years, then you were more likely to achieve something like success. Then if you were able to stay up to 15 years, you were very likely to achieve national acclaim. So I had written down these things, meaning I knew that I had no business quitting before 5, 10, or 15 years if I wanted to be successful, if I wanted a national, have some level of national acclaim. So I wasn't phased. I was extremely clear. I didn't stumble. I was very clear because I had studied that these principles were pretty much true across any form of enterprise, whether you're offering a product or a service. So these prepared me. I had studied the lives and times of a few entrepreneurs here and there from the books I read, and I saw that the trends were same. So I made up my mind from the beginning that I was going to be what I call deaf and blind. I call it blinders and earplugs. I was going to wear my blinders and my earplugs and be deaf to what I didn't want to hear and blind to what I didn't want to see. I read a book in primary 4 or primary 5. It's a book called Black Beauty that talks about this racing horses, and how it said in the book how when they put on the blinders of on the horses, because that way the horses can't see what's happening in the next lane, because when the race horses can see what's happening in the next lane, they get afraid and then they slow down. So they put on blinders. So I put on my blinders. What were some of my blinders? My desire to succeed. I had 2 role models that I chose. I chose Ali Baba and I chose Tara Fela. As of 2007, there was almost no comedian who would speak successfully that will not trace some tie to Ali Baba to say, oh, he mentored me, he encouraged me, I was around him at some point. And there were only very few makeup artists who were not tied to Tara. Because of the Tara Fela makeup school at that time, there were so many makeup artists who were birthing their businesses because of her. So I said to myself, if I combine these two models, one, have the ability to help people, support them if possible, and then have the ability to train them to be as good, if not better, then the world is made. So I had no business quitting until I had trained masters of ceremonies. And of course, the dream was progressive. The more I got into it, the more I wanted to train. Now, yes, I've trained over 1,000. I want to train 10,000. Maybe not by me directly, but I want the day where 10,000 masters of ceremonies across the world will say, oh, at the foundation of my success was something I learned from Joyce Daniels, or something I learned from someone who said they learned from Joyce Daniels. So I have no business quitting until then. These have really helped me. Other thing I will say, I studied human anatomy in school. And amongst different studies, if there is something I understood, is that hunger does not really kill. It's extreme hunger coupled with hopelessness that actually destroys. Some people are able to stay months without food and not die. If they have something to drink, fine. But when they have hope that food is coming at war-torn areas, when they hear that, oh, there's some aid coming, people are bringing food, by this time they've stayed about 7, 9, 8 weeks, 9, 10 weeks without food, but they hear that food is coming, that hope keeps them alive. So I was not afraid of not making money, because hunger doesn't kill, it's hopelessness that does. So in order not to be completely hopeless, I did something that I call scaffolding. What's a scaffold? A scaffold is a temporary structure you put up to support the construction of a main building. You want to paint a building, you put up these wooden structures outside so that you can climb to paint, or you have some more tenacious scaffolds of metal whilst you're building. They put scaffolds out so that you can fit in the different fixtures in the building. So what was scaffolding for me? Number one, by 2010, I got into a network marketing business called Ardis. We sold Body Magic, and I ran that business for 2 years very successfully. I got to be what we call a president within the company. By August of 2000, was that 2010 or 2011 now? I missed the dates. By August of that 2010, I was earning $17,000 a month from my Ardis business. But I was never phased, which my core was. Ardis was to support my MC business, not the other way around. When I got to a certain point, I dropped the Ardis business. I've always loved makeup. I've loved makeup since I was a child. When I was in secondary school, girls would come into my room to put makeup on their face before they go out. Even in secondary school, I had brown powder and a few things, and I could draw things on people's faces. So the other thing I used to scaffold was my makeup business. In fact, I sold makeup, and there were times when I would be the MC of the event and the bride's makeup artist. At least I had up to 7 or 8 events like that where I was makeup artist. Where I was makeup artist and MC. So that augmented my earnings. And when I felt I was earning comfortably enough, I dropped that. And I don't know that anything, I said it then, nothing will ever take me back. I can only do makeup on my own face when I like, if I like. So it took care of money. It took care of my mind. I never for one day, not even an hour, I don't even recall a minute where I doubted myself as an MC or doubted my success. Because if you put water in a pot and put it on fire, you only need time before it becomes steam. If you put water in a bottle and put it in a refrigerator or a freezer, give it what? Time, and it will become ice. So I knew that if I was studying, reaching out to clients, receiving and upgrading my brand, then I will be successful. It was only a matter of time. I was not ever phased. And I say this because many times I was even on the phone with someone yesterday, and many times we listen to people. What will my cousin say? What will my aunt like? There is a place and time for counsel. There is a place and time for mentorship and advice. But I say it any day and I repeat it. I will choose decisions over having a mentor. I will choose making the right decisions over having a mentor. A mentor cannot make you succeed. It is your choices, your decisions that make you succeed. So when you have the right knowledge that guides the decisions you make, you are more likely to succeed than when you have a great mentor. Look, I have little, and I will tell you the truth, I have little or no regard for mentorship. I have all regard for having the right knowledge and making the right decisions. You can succeed without a mentor. You cannot succeed without knowledge and right decisions. So I'm not keen. I used to say, oh, I want to mentor people. After a while, you know what? I was like, I don't need to mentor people. I need to teach them. And they need to make decisions to know what to do when they don't need my mentorship. And that's the truth. And I'm not emotionally attached to anyone thinking, oh, I'm your mentor. You want me to? No, I have no emotional attachment. If I love you because I love you and I care for you. But I will rather teach you and encourage you to make the right decisions. Because once you do, you don't need me. Full stop.
Wow. We asked a question. We got an encyclopedia. Fantastic. Guys, are you feeling this energy? Are you feeling this? The queen shares, the queen unleashes, the queen is showing you the way. The way past is through. All you need is the right knowledge. And that is where Coach Joyce Daniels comes in. That is where her resources will come in. That is where our trainings and workshops and programs would come in, like the Elevated MC, Prepare to Speak, her books, our audio books, our ebooks, our YouTube videos that are on this very channel that
It's a
you
powerhouse.
yes,
This YouTube channel is
that's
a
where our
powerhouse.
Instagram comes to play. That is where our Facebook page comes to play. I mean, what else do you want? Come on. There's a lot of knowledge to go around. All you need to do is be patient enough to immerse yourself in that knowledge and then tell yourself, these are the key decisions I am going to make.
Yeah.
These are the key decisions I'm going to make. That is an eye opener, and that is to the T. Now, a very interesting question I saw yesterday. I think I made it while we're having our old preliminaries. I made that comment and said, and someone says, yeah, Coach JD, these days you are wearing white. Oh. I thought it used to be green. You know, I thought it's green now. Yeah, it's not a white cloth. I know that it's green cloth it's not white cloth I used to wear. I said, okay. And I wore white, and you are here wearing white. So the question is: this you that has come? It is you that we have been waiting for. Is this a transition, or are you doing green and white? So
Okay.
what gives? What is the story behind this transition?
Okay, I will start, please, by answering why it's even green and white in the first place. I'll save you the long story, but it's nothing deeper than for love of country. I wear green to honor Nigeria. I wear white to honor Nigeria. The colors of the flag are green, white, green. So I wear more green than white. Of course, adding to the fact that white gets dirty much faster, so it's easier to manage green clothes. I started wearing green and white because I was reminded, and I dare say I was reminded by the Lord God Almighty, who gave me the gift, the talent, the desire, that what I do is not only for my benefit, but it is a token toward nation building. And so I started wearing green to government functions. When I emceed government functions, I would wear green. And after a while, I asked myself, why only government functions? Maybe try other events. And after a while, it was now my way of life. So in and out of on stage, off stage was green and it's white. Why am I wearing white more? I will tell you. We know we are beings of evolution. We evolve. We transient. We keep changing and evolving. I coined Queen of Talk years ago. I don't even remember exactly when, but I want to believe it's over 7 years. But I never owned it as much as I own it right now. Right now, I own the fact that I am a queen in this regard. This is my place of authority. This is my place of power. And in our climb, the color of royalty is white. When many of our traditional rulers and their spouses step out, at least in my home, Edo State, the traditional rulers will wear white. So if I'm going to own my queendom, then I want to wear more white. I also want to do a bit covering. So I'm intentional. Everybody knows. In fact, that's the word people used to describe me quite a bit, that I'm an intentional person, because how I robe, how I dress affects how I think. It affects the aura. It affects what I give. And it's nothing deeper than that. It's as simple as that. I feel I'm coming into this phase, this stage, this season, that I really should own this. And I have.
And she has a queendom. We bend the knee. All right. Thank you very much for that very insightful answer. So now, when next you see the Queen of Talk adorned in white, glistening, glowing, queening, say, before you start thinking why, you remember, she said it on the 11th day of November, somewhere on YouTube. Go and check the YouTube link, and then you watch and you remember, okay, this is why she wears green. This is why she wears white. There are two questions I'm seeing here. I'm going to co-join them and ask as a question. Debbie is saying, what are your top 3 underrated ways to prepare for an event, especially for an event type you've never hosted before? Now that's Debbie. So let's hold that, and I'll co-join it with this question that I am seeing here by Isaiah. Isaiah is saying, how are you able to relate personally with every event? Looking at the dynamics of those events, like this is health, like the women in healthcare, this corporate, this is industry. So how do you flow with these dynamics? So let's marry them. How do you flow with the dynamics? Is it the same? Are you applying the Queen of Talk in the same trajectory, in the same intensity to health as it is to pet or oil or government? And then what three underrated ways do you prepare? Do you use to prepare for an event, and how can you?
Thank you. There is nothing like an underrated way. You can scratch that from your diary or from the dictionary. There's no such thing. There is preparation, and there's preparation full stop. And the way you prepare for one event, I dare say, is the way you prepare for all. Your brand is your promise. Your brand is what you give. So, for example, a word that resonates and is repeated a lot by clients when they describe me, they say, "Oh, Joyce is engaging. Oh, Joyce is engaging." Yesterday, I worked for Mrs. Ibukun Awushika, and when the event was done, I went to say hello to Dr. Omobola Johnson, and she said, "As always, Joyce, you are always so appropriate." Appropriateness is the term I would use, which comes from how you prepare. And how you prepare, I would say it, if you've attended any program I've done, regardless of what I'm talking about, it's the same key, your 5 W's and your 1 H. Yes, In my trainings, I might give you some more details as to how to ask certain specific questions. But 5 Ws and 1H remain the universal way to prepare. Who am I working for? Who is in the audience? Who am I? What do they want? What am I going to give? Where is this event? What time of the day is it? When is it? Why is it holding? Why am I the master of ceremonies? What is the significance of this event? What are the expectations of the people in the audience? You see, I'm asking different questions from the 5 Ws. And then the how, the H is how. How do I deliver? How do I greet? How do I open? How do I introduce the event? How do I introduce people? How do I introduce myself? How? If you learn nothing else for the rest of your life, but you only use 5 Ws and 1H, you will win. Ask, I always say, or well, I say a lot, 7 levels deep. Ask, 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 ask. Who is coming to my event? Oh, there are people in the aviation space. What age group? That's still in your who. They're all between ages of 40 and 60. So you know that you can use certain kinds of anecdote stories or jokes that will resonate with that age as against when you're working with an audience that is typically younger people under 40. That's all in your who. Who is my audience? What are their expectations? Do they want the event to be quick, sharp, and done with? Do they expect me to tell jokes and give in a lot of fillers? Or they expect me to be very straight to the point? And where you are not sure, please ask the person who hires you. Now, I am being very clear. The person who hires you might have an idea that's slightly different from the people in the audience. So your sensitivities might be able to help you marry them. But if I were to choose, it's rare, but if I were to choose who to please, the audience or who hired me, I'll go with who hired me because that's the reason I'm here. But of course, as a professional, I will find a way to marry what the audience wants with what my client wants and give them a really good dish served. Ask questions. That's how to prepare. Ask yourself, ask your client. There are standard questionnaires that are even in the book Mastery at the end of the book, in the, what do you call that place? The resource section of the book. There is a questionnaire there in every program that I offer. It's part of the offerings. You get standard questionnaires that you send to your client ahead. Then someone will say, but Joyce, sometimes you ask the client, you send in the questionnaire and they don't respond to you. So you do some research, you get there on time, and sometimes you need to go ask the people in the audience yourself. What do I mean? I'm going to bring up 5 panelists. I had asked for materials on them, who they are, blah blah blah. Nothing came, so I go find them on LinkedIn, I find them on Google, I find them on YouTube, I find them everywhere. I pick things here and there, and I try to get in there early. And if I can't meet them before the event starts, at least some minutes before I go introduce them, I walk over to them and I say hi. They may already have known me as the master of ceremonies, or if the event hasn't started, I introduce myself as the MC and I say, how would you like me to introduce you? And I'm not talking about your bio, your profile. What is it about you that the audience here should know that would excite them to make them want to listen to you? And many times you hear the speaker go, oh, is that really? Oh. Because I don't really want to read out your profile. A profile is not an introduction. That's an amateur way. Reading out a profile is an amateur way of introducing people. You coined the introduction to bring out the relevance of this person speaking. Why is this person speaking at this event? Or why is what they're saying important to this event? That's more of an introduction than reading out the fact that they went to one school or the other. Those are things we did. Like Paul will say, when I was a child, I behaved like a child. Now that I'm an adult, we do things queenly.
Please, before I ask the next question, can you give me some fire, please? Hello, I need fire. Use the comment. Hello, please use the comment. Give me some bit of inferno. I need inferno here now, please. Can somebody burn this comment section, please? I want to see fire emoji, please. Fire, at least 205 fire emojis. Then this is insightful. Nothing keeps you top of mind than excellence. more so
Mhm.
unexpected bursts of brilliance. You see what
Okay.
the Queen of Talk just said? There is nothing more precious than that look on the keynote speaker's face or the speakers of the panelists' face when they're like, oh my God, how did you know this about me? For God's sakes, I did not submit
Let
this. This was
let
what
me
I sent.
quickly put in a caveat, please. Let me quickly put in a caveat. Remember, I said
Okay.
the greatest challenge, in my opinion, is ill preparedness or not being appropriately prepared. Some years ago at an event, I introduced one of the speakers in a certain way that I got from the internet. Apparently, she occupied that role 2 years before I met her, 2 years before that event. And so when she came up, she corrected us and said, oh, that was the role I occupied 2 years ago. But you see, I never made that mistake again because now, even if I take some introduction off the internet, I will make my way to you and say, either I send it to you as an email or I send it to you as a message. I'll make my way to you and say, this is how I intend to introduce you. Is everything here in order? And sometimes they say, oh no, change this. I'm no longer a doctor. I am now a professor. I am no longer chairman to this thing. I am now head of. So corrections are made. Sometimes they go, oh, this is absolutely fantastic. Oh, this is really interesting. Please add here that I also do this, that, and the other, because we're asking the right questions. Over to you for the next question. Let's go.
It is very interesting. So please let us be careful. So you don't go and introduce an ex-president as the commander in chief of the armed forces. It's very important, and in fact, it makes it. There is nothing that bonds. There's nothing that keeps you top of mind. And when you say, "Oh, sir, this, I want to introduce you like this, like this, like this, like this,"
Yeah.
please peruse, vet. The next question. So if I'm looking down, I'm looking at some questions here. Please
Yes.
bamboozle me and bamboozle Coach JD with your questions. We have an hour more. You can still share this link. Oh, you can still share it. I'm speaking to somebody. Somebody you are watching. You are watching with your phone. Yes. Yeah. I don't want to prophesy. We are watching with your phone. I'm stretching my hands and I'm seeing you are watching with your phone. Share this link. That is what the spirit is speaking to my left ear. Oh yes. Share this link on your WhatsApp. Put it on WhatsApp. Let your friends know that something is happening here. Let them come and rush here. Share it on WhatsApp. Are you done with WhatsApp now? Now take it to that blue app, the app white patch called Facebook. That one that have F, but it's not failure. It is called what? Facebook. Share the link on your when they say, what do you think? Put it in there and paste. Post it on the Facebook. Tell your friend to come and join us that we have one more hour of questions and insights. All right, moving on. Now, the question I would like to ask is that when on stage, and this person is a huge proponent of the term shining on stage, which you embody, of course. Now, she is saying, how do you take an event on stage from zero, from O to 100 to 1,000 to near volcanic proportions? How do you, let's say you're at an event and it seems like the temperature is not the way you want. What are the things that you do? What are the go-to tricks to move an event from 0 to 100, from 100 to 1,000, from 1,000 to near volcanic proportions? Let's
All right.
go.
Thank you. Preparation. Your audience can never be more energetic than the MC. It's impossible. It has never happened in the history of MCing, and it will never happen. The audience will never be more energetic than the MC. You are the standard of energy in the room. If you bring in your energy from the start, you will get your audience to be as energetic as you are. It takes one, believing in yourself. The moment you believe you can, you are more likely to if you use the right principles. And I've really stopped saying tricks now. Before I used to say, I want to teach you some tips and tricks on. I don't use the word anymore. I'm now a queen, you know. I teach principles, fundamentals. I teach um, principles, fundamentals, ideology. What's the other? There's another word I'm looking for. Foundations. So
Strategy.
strategy, yes, but not tricks, because we are not tricksters. We follow principles. Ha, somebody say hallelujah. So
Hallelujah.
preparation. When you understand going to an event that your audience can only have as much energy as you give, you will stop going to events expecting to meet energetic audiences. Don't do it. It's a mistake. It's part of the unpreparedness that we're talking about. Do not go for events expecting to meet energetic people. That's not how events work. Events will meet people who are just there, expecting whatever it is you are able to give them. And the quality of what you give them is dependent on how well you researched, how well you prepared, what lineup of stories, jokes, activities, and tools of engagement you prepared for and you came with. You will always have more tools than what you need. That's when you are prepared. I give an example. Someone will say, Joyce, I don't really know these people. Yes, I filled in the questionnaire, but what happens? How am I sure who is in the audience? Right now in 2024, any serious event that holds has a social media page, or at least is talked about on a certain social media platform, either on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or on Facebook. Yes or no? Yes? Yes. Go to that page where that event is being spoken of and interact with the people in the comment section on that page. You will find that the people who interact with that page are more likely to be those who will be in your audience. So you can go in there, find a few names, go into their DM and say, hey, I'm going to be the master of ceremonies here. What 2 things would you expect me to do that would really make it a good day for you? If you ask 5 to 10 people, they will tell you what to do. You go and get it done. Remember, I said, right knowledge and then decisions. Get the right knowledge and then take decisions that would lead to action, not mentorship. And I'm trying to also disabuse the mind that I need a mentor, I need a mentor, I need a mentor. You don't need a mentor. You need the right knowledge and then take the right action. Mentorship, I can talk about the values. Of course, the benefits to having a mentor are here, there, and the other, but I'm trying to show that some people have used trying to have a mentor as a crutch. A crutch is something you depend on. You don't need a crutch when your legs are working well. So let's make your legs strong enough to walk and walk without having the crutch. So come back to the energy of the event. I think I've answered the question. Do your research. Believe in yourself that you have enough power to do it. Do what should be done. That's what I mean by taking decisions, making decisions and taking action. I need to say, hey, people, good afternoon. And then when nobody responds, I don't say, what's wrong now? People are not happy. No, I go, good afternoon. Is it a good afternoon? Remember, I will look so beautiful. My voice is carrying through. I might leave the stage and come into the crowd and say good afternoon. And I might sing. There are times I start with a song, because I know that I will grab the attention of people. And I might think of what song can I sing that will make the people turn and go, oh, that was really good. And by the time I'm done, they will clap. So the next question will be, is there a band? Is there a keyboardist? Do I need to come with one? I'll tell you, there's an event I did. I brought my own keyboardist just because I was trying to take audience engagement to hear. So I brought a keyboardist with me to the event. I was an MC. I wasn't hired as a singer, but I wanted him to play something for me that I was going to sing to that will blow their minds to the point that they will give me their 100% attention. Did I get my result? Yes. I prepared for it. I practiced for it. I trained for it. That's my point. Do your homework. stretch yourself and allow yourself do the things that are whether unusual or usual. Don't worry about, is this unusual, is this unique? No, will it work? Will it engage people? If the answer is yes, then practice it until you become it. I can't emphasize this enough. There's no trick. There's no other trick. There's hard work. Get the job done. I hope I've enjoyed. I've answered the question.
Ero, can you hear what Cody is saying now? What she said that go and do your what assignment. Go and do your what assignment.
Get the job done.
Go and do your homework. Research, learn, relearn, unlearn, overlearn, if that's a term.
Yeah.
Ensure that you do your own work. Remember what Coach talked about and what I also referenced. You cannot do your job better than you are doing yourself. What do I mean by that? How you see yourself and how much you are conscious of who you are and invest in to make yourself a better person reflects on what you do. Now, see it like this. You know how we have, let me call, I'm not about to give free publicity, but you know how you have Cetraco or Julius Berger, and you see them doing projects, yes? See yourself as the contractor, right? And see those events as projects. Your quality as a person is what will reflect on the event. So stop doing something as an MC. That may sound controversial somehow. When you start looking at yourself, like, okay, I need to be this person, I need to be that person. If you want your event to be lively, you are the one bringing the life. So you have to be a lively person yourself. Yes. So you have to invest in yourself to become life. And then you now donate, like the way you have Julius Berger carrying out project. That's okay. So instead of saying I have an event, say I have a project. Just go carry it out because why? You're well equipped. Yes. You have the tractor in you. You have the payloader within you. You have the asphalt within you. You have the bulldozer. You have the Abiro shaker. Everything is within you. So when you get to that event, you visit that event with your tools and you carry out decent work. Now, the next question, Coach, is this. A lady says, I would love to learn how to state my price and stand by it. So she's having what we call seller's guilt. So how do I state my price as an MC and stand rock solid by it?
Simple answer, have a rate card. Full stop. Simple answer, have a rate card. A black and white document or a colored document like mine that states what service you offer or what services you offer and what rates you claim per service. It is when there is no standardized rate that we get more afraid of, or we get more, there's a word I'm looking, we get more jitters about naming our rates. And I'm saying this because if there is something that I that I have struggled with is increasing my price or asking for what I really want, because sometimes you feel sorry for your clients or you just don't feel you deserve it. But I don't mention this as a big problem, because to a large extent you can only ask for a certain amount when you've agreed that you want it, not just that you are worth it, but you want it. And that's a whole different topic about having some level of poverty mindset, or having some sort of, we might call it being humble, but it's actually being unconscious of who we really are, thinking that all the good things are for God only. We should just have a little, it's a mindset on its own that has robbed some of us. And I dare say, and there's no water in my mouth, it affects more of us who are church boys and church girls than none. When we all, no, it's only God, we give God the glory. Many times we don't want to talk about money because it makes us feel unrighteous or dirty. So when we're able to deal with that mindset, or whilst you are still trying to deal with that mindset / mentality, please, tonight, put together a rate card. MC 3 to 5 hour events, X amount. MC Yeah, what else is there? MC 5 hour plus event. This amount. Outside, if you live in Worry, say within Worry, this amount. Outside Worry, this amount. Or you say flat rate for MC, this amount. Anywhere outside Worry, please add, or client is responsible for travel and accommodation. It's up to you how you want to word it. Why? When someone says, what's your rate? If you don't have the courage to say it, open the document and just state what is written there. Oh, my rate in Worry is 200,000 naira. My rate in Lagos is this amount. And they say, really? Yes, please. It's easier. The psyche is easier when you're reading it out from something. But after a while, now let me flip to say, if you're still struggling to ask for a certain amount of money or agree with yourself on what that amount is, it's usually because you have not yet owned your professionalism. You do not think you are professional enough, or you do not think you are worth the money, or you are comparing yourself with someone and saying, oh, I'm not yet like Julius, I'm not yet like Damilola, so I cannot ask for this amount. Let me just see whatever it is they have, and then whatever they offer me, I'll take it. I might have thought that many years ago. That ship has sailed. The moment you get out of uni, or the moment you get out of a learning institution, whatever it is, let's say you attend tailoring school, the moment you get out of tailoring school and you receive fabric from someone to sew for them, you put a fee to it, yes or no? The moment you've trained yourself as a master of ceremonies, put a fee to it. What that fee is, to a large extent, will depend on how much confidence and courage you have in yourself, much more than in whether the client has the ability to pay. I'll leave it there for now.
And you've left everything on the table. Thank you very much, Coach, for that insightful answer. Also, please, if you are and when you start doing this and taking these steps, do not be afraid to lose a deal. You cannot bag all the deals. Sorry, you cannot bag all the deals. You cannot bag all the deals. So when you say, oh, 500K, and you know that is what they are comfortable with. What that even does is, if you're saying, if what you actually want is 500, and then you now grudgingly accept 250 or 300, there is a higher likelihood that you will not do the event with the whole of your heart. There will be some reservation, like you're like, I'm being managed, So be very comfortable with what the pin drop is. Thank you very much, Coach. Now the next question. By the way,
Mechanic.
Headgear, but please, I want us to look at our coach's headgear. This is a crown. From where? It's Wakanda. Where is it from? Wonderful. My God. Look at now. Florence is saying fantastic. It's a fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. I want to ask a question. Is it Gucci or is it Versace or is it Hermes? What did they call us? ELA or something like that. Is it Louis? Is it Louboutin? Louis Vuitton?
It is Noria Ita, proudly made in Nigeria, proudly made by an Edo girl. Noria Ita.
Noria.
Yes. You know me, I will wear a Nigerian brand 100 times over before I wear any other foreign brand. But you know me. You already know.
If you know, you know. If you don't know, now what? Now you know. That's really nice. So Nora, wherever if you're on this call, please Nora, just say hi so that we can get the name right, so that those who
maybe we'll drop it on my page tomorrow. I doubt she's on this call.
It's giving. I mean, it's giving royalty. It's giving coronation.
Thank you.
Coronation stuff, and it's beautiful.
Thank you.
So the next question. I hope we're following. Yes, indeed, we are following. we are following. Now, let me jump into this question. I'm saying, what is your full name? What is your full name? What is O? What does O stand for? I mean, just in O, is it Channel O? Is this Channel O's YouTube
Mhm.
YouTube handle?
So let me
O is
answer
saying, did
this
you?
question about a bias for gender.
Yeah.
I never, ever, 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 I cannot say it enough. I never see myself as a woman first. I see myself as a professional first. The term is master of ceremonies. It's not about gender, it's about mastery. It's about professionalism. It's about knowing what to do. And I dare say again and again and again, even where there are biases about gender, if you are like me, that has blinders and earplugs, please don't forget, I don't want you to take one thing I'm saying without the other. When I say one thing, remember that I'm also somebody who is deaf. I know they hear. I only hear what's in my mind. Remember that Joyce is also somebody who doesn't see. I only see what I want to see. So please don't forget that. I want you to constantly remember that I am a deaf person. I hear only what is in my head, so that you can understand that I don't look at people's faces to make decisions. I make decisions based on what's in my mind. My husband is on this call. He go tell you, Joyce's mind, when it's made up, she doesn't understand what else. And I always say it, that it is what is in my heart that I will translate to the world around me. So the world at the end of the day gives you what you are giving to the world. If you don't give them, how would they take it? If you don't give something to the world, how will the world give you back? So no, I don't, I usually do, I don't recall experiencing biases because I was female. The times I felt the male MC, no, not felt, the times the male MC was paid more than I was paid, it was because I had not learned to negotiate better fees. It was not about gender. The moment I learned how to negotiate for the fees I want, I found that I'm being paid that. And it has nothing to do with my gender. And yes, there are times where some people say, oh, we want to bring you on board. You'll be co-emceeing with this person, but we brought you in so that we can have gender balance. I heard what they said, but remember, I'm deaf. So when I am going to deliver the work as a master of ceremonies, I am not going there to fill a gender quota. I'm going there to deliver as a professional. Simple. Full stop. Period. Drops mic.
And that's on periods.
We had several questions from the forms people filled. Are we attending to those questions as well?
Yes, we are. We are. And I'm going to the next question here. Now, what are the techniques that I can use to craft compelling openings and create engaging dialogues at events? I want to open this event, but I want to open it in an earth-shaking way. How do I go about doing that?
2 ways. Number one, you define what earth-shaking is first. Be very clear on what that definition is. Is it one that makes people think? Is it one that makes people applaud? Is it one that makes people shout? So you need to define first what earth shaking is to you, or what earth shaking would be to that audience. Then you find the elements that would make it happen. And that will come from thinking, reading. I read widely. I watch what other masters of ceremonies do. And more than watching what masters of ceremonies do, I observe people and see what makes them happy day to day. or I understand the simple principles of human relations, that if I make somebody feel important, they are more likely to reciprocate and make me feel important as well. So what can I do to make them feel important? Those are the elements to consider. Then what are the elements of openings? There are different types of openings, but there are three major ones that I defer to. Number one is a compliment. What kinds of compliments will I pay to either the audience or the host or my client that would make people think beyond? Yesterday, I was introducing Ibukun Awushika herself toward the end of the event. And because it was a gospel program where we're trying to raise funds for the Christian Missionary Fund that she runs, and she has run for 30 years, yesterday was actually the 30th anniversary. I started by talking about the story of Dorcas, also known as Tabitha. And I said, but many of us will call it Tabitha. And when Tabitha died, Dorcas died, people in the community gathered around and said, Tabitha cannot die. Oh. Peter, come. She had been doing good for us. And so you have to come back and raise her. People didn't know where I was going to with this question, with this talk. And then I said, in our midst today, we have a Tabitha, a Dorcas. And I said a few other things. And I also referenced Esther and what Esther did and how she interceded for her people. But while she was fasting and praying, she also sent a word to say to the people, join me in the fasting and prayer. So she's not going to fast and pray alone. She needs all of us. And that's why she gathered us together to say, let's put our hands together, put our funds together, and blah, blah, blah. So ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Tabitha Dorcas Ibukun Awushika. And of course, people laughed and they were clapping, but it took me some time to think. It took thinking. Remember, knowledge first, then decisions, action. It took me thinking. I had thought of like 4 different ways to introduce her. Should I talk about this? And then before I got to calling her name, I also talked about how she's so and so in not only in the Christian space, but in entrepreneurship. In fact, she is the definition of hashtag mentor, hashtag grand mentor. What are a few other things I said? I layered them on. So by the time I mentioned her, it was earth-shaking because I had defined what I wanted based on the quality of the people in the audience, the quality of person, and me. Because whatever it is I'm saying has to reflect my brand. I speak as a queen on stage. You will know. Everybody recognizes, oh, you were so exquisite. You are, because I will think through. So we have options. So I've said something. 3 major types of openings. Number 1, compliments. Now, this opening can be opening an event or opening to introduce somebody. Compliments. Second type is questions. Openings that have to do with questioning people either in the audience or questioning them to think. So the questions can make people react, it can make people respond, or it can make people introspect. Third type of opening that can be used will involve storytelling. But please be mindful. The story must be relevant to the core of why we are here, core of the theme. If you're telling a story, it must be relevant to the theme. If you're telling a story, it must be within good time. It should be succinct. If you're telling a story, your facts, your details should be accurate, especially if it is a story other people will know, a third-party story. It needs to be accurate. If it happened in 1924, please do try not to say 1926. By the time people start correcting you from the audience, it might embarrass you. No, not like it might embarrass you. You might feel embarrassed because embarrassment is a response. It's not given. Nobody can embarrass me. I can only be embarrassed because of where I'm thinking and where my mind is, but it's never given. It's a response. You might be embarrassed by the time people correct you, or people might get distracted because of how many errors are within your story. And have I seen such things happen in real life? Yes. Thankfully, not to me, but I have seen it happen to people where they're telling a story and people go, no, it's not that. It was not that person. And by the time everybody's correcting you, it's a mess. Knowledge, decisions that lead to action to get the right knowledge. And I started by saying, be clear what groundbreaking, earth shaking means to you and to the audience? I believe I've answered this question.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And yes, you have. Please, please. I'm not seeing questions here. I'm not seeing questions here. Or should we call it a night? Because the queen needs to retire to her chamber, to
Are
her
we done with the
study.
questions that came in from the
We are not
pool?
done with all. Just before
Okay,
I delve
let's
into
take like
this,
two more. Mm,
because what is happening is the more questions you answer, the more sheets you're spreading over this question. So, uh,
yes,
judging
I
from what
tend
I'm
to do
seeing,
that.
you're answering 10 questions at once. You're answering
I
15 at
agree.
once. You're answering 40 at once. I mean, it is what you do. We know. We will know. No.
That's what
We
I
will
do.
know. Don't. You know. All right. So, there's a question from the survey, and this MC goes, how do I position myself offline and online to attract clients? He is a corporate MC. How do I position myself offline and online to attract clients?
Go to where your clients or potential clients are. Go to where your clients or potential clients are, offline and online. What associations are they in? Are you become a part of that association? What social gatherings do they attend or attend to? Be there online and offline. I can't overemphasize this. When I wanted to get close to a certain caliber of women, I joined the WINBEES group, Women in Management, Business, and Public Service. And by the time I got busier within the WINBEES space, I had become acquainted with certain caliber of people because I had gone where they were. When certain people host certain events, I paid to attend, not necessarily because of the knowledge I want to gain, but because of the access to other quality of people who will be in that room. For example, in 2018, when I was going to attend my first blueprint of how with Mfon Ekbo, the program was 90 something thousand. I was about to transfer the money when that voice came. I was like, 90 something K. Hey, for 1 day training. What are they training you? What was that? Something. It went on and on in my head, and I was like, will you keep quiet? Will you keep quiet? This money will not only give me access to the knowledge which I needed desperately at that time, but it will give me access to other people who can afford to pay 90,000 per event. Those are the kinds of people who should be my friends. And the moment I had that conversation in my head, I paid immediately. Gosh, right there, that event, that glorious Saturday, right there, just from the interactions that went on during that 13-hour program, I got clients that paid me over times 10 of the 90K just by meeting them there. Right there, Biola Flo, Coach Biola, what's Biola's surname now? Biola Flo. Biola Adediran. She's spoken on Wiser a few times. Biola was one of such people I met there, amongst others, but I remember her because we struck up, not just, we also became friends. Biola paid me right there 100,000 naira to attend my training that was coming up in a few days. Right there. Right from that room there, within 24 hours, about 6 people had paid me 100K each. That was 600K. Before my event came up about a week or two later, over 10 people had paid. I paid 90 something thousand. From that room alone, I'd made over 1 million naira. So, to position yourself, be ready to invest to be where the people you want to meet are. There are certain conferences I will pay for, but I won't only pay for the conference. I will pay the premium fee that says it will give you access to so and so and so. Why? In there, you will meet the kinds of people you want. When I go for what they call networking programs, blah, 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 I usually don't go just with my business card. In fact, I hardly go with my business card, because if I've attracted you enough if I've attracted you enough that you put me in your heart, you don't need my business card. So if I introduce myself, or I make a contribution, I answer a question, or I ask a very intelligent question, there's in such a way, people will say, who is she? I want to know her. Another time, it's not a business card they're looking for. They're looking for a deeper connection. So I've answered it in various ways. And I think it goes back to self-image. I'm attending a coaching program right now with Tombra Woswagu. She's my coach for the journey I'm about to go embark on. And we had a class yesterday, and she was listing out a few things that she said, Joyce, these are things I've come to know about you. And everything she said was true. Let me read them out to you. It's right here on my computer. She said, Joyce, you are committed to patriotism and nation building. I said, yes. She said, you're committed to social impact. Yes. She says, you are a person who has personal sovereignty. Hey, I shouted. I said, Coach, what do you mean? She said, you believe in yourself and your powers so much. And that is so true. If you're going to attract a certain kind of people, you really have to believe in yourself to the point of having personal sovereignty. I had never known that phrase before yesterday. And it was my coach who was saying it to me, because she has observed me. You can't attract more than who you are. We attract our kind. So we all need to elevate. Now I know the kinds of people I want to attract. She gave me some assignments yesterday that were mind-boggling. My God. And throughout today, in fact, the reason I've been having a slight headache is I've been thinking and I've been writing things down. But you see, it's about now understanding the next level of kind of people I want to attract. And she has given me an assignment on how I will attract them. But you see, for me to attract them, certain things about me will elevate. Please, these are the reasons why I don't like using the term tricks. There are no tricks. There are principles. There are fundamentals. There are decisions to be made, and there is action to take. The more we improve our caliber of thinking, the more we change the circles, or improve, not necessarily leaving anybody behind, but improving and expanding the circles we belong to, and then the more we are able to get X. When I started flying business class in 2016, or was that 2016, I think, it wasn't necessarily because I had so much money. Yes, I could afford it, but it was because I also wanted to be in certain spaces. And I'm still answering the question about being in the space of the kind of people you want to attract. I met Ubon King on business class on an Air Peace flight. That's where we met. We had never met before then. I had known of him, but it was because we sat there. And so I walked over to his side and I greeted him. I said, oh, I'm a fan of yours. And guess what? He accepted me on a certain level because, hello, deep calls onto deep. There's that thing. That's how even the Bible says that men will look upon your outward appearance. It's only God that sees the heart. So if you want them to take certain things from you, remember that what they see and how they feel, including how you speak, the quality of words you use, will determine, or as Kanu Wankwo will say, will determine whether they want to work with you or not. Hence, I would answer another question that has not been asked. Can any and everybody be a master of ceremonies? Before, I would say yes. I no longer say yes. It's not everybody that can be a professional master of ceremonies that will attract X kinds of money on stage. It is the person who believes, who learns enough, who makes decisions and takes certain action that can be. So if you haven't learned to own, to learn, to elevate your thinking and your knowledge enough to be sovereign in person, it will be tough for you to be a master of ceremonies that earns certain amounts of money. To get there, you start here. Ready for the next question?
Woo! I'm sweating. I'm sweating in my mind. I'm sweating. I'm sweating inside of me. Somebody pour me something like H2O. Somebody, can you feel this energy? Can you feel this energy? Can you feel? I like
Energy.
when I see Dr. Josh saying power, I read it the way he's typing it. Power, power, power. Somebody say
Power.
Barbados. Somebody, if you don't have personal sovereignty, kilo day. This is insightful. Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. If you are an MC and you're listening to this is your cue. This is a wake-up call for you. So that in 10, in 5, in 12, in 16, when you get to your 17th year, you can also say, you know what? At Coach JD's 17th special, I listened in. I watched the session. I watched the replays. I watched again and again. And I took certain key decisions that have brought me to where I am right now. How you look, your self-belief, personal sovereignty. If you don't have that within you, you will look for things outside to validate or to anchor on. To define who you are. It's supposed to come from within, and then these things around you becomes what you call your scaffolds, or just decor.
Yeah,
it has to be in you, like a pick. You get like a picnic. It has to be what inside of you, my brother, my sister.
Yeah,
so that you can command. You command who you are on the inside, deep connect onto deep. And if you are an MC, you are a speaker. In fact, if you are anything, and you don't attend in key industry events that are premium, you are missing on a lot of things. Knowledge, network. Network. Coach just said it a few minutes ago. What better friends to have than those who are committed at the same level with you to value? What better friends to have? If you are somebody who can pay $500,000 or $1 million or 10 million for an event, what do you think your ideas will look like to somebody who goes to free events? Like, 20 million projects. Wow. God, well, God will help all of us, Sha. We will get this money one day. And you're like, when you're speaking to somebody who's at the same commitment value as you are, my God, it's fireworks. The good book says it, deep calls onto deep. Now, moving to McCann's question. McCann asked a question. McCann Media. McCann is saying, how do you, where is it now? How do you handle, I think it's about name. Okay, yeah, here it is. How do you handle mistakes on stage, especially as regards name pronunciation?
You apologize immediately. I made a mistake last Monday. Today is Monday, right? So last Monday, I made a mistake with someone's name on stage. It was a French name. And I had tried to find the gentleman before the event. I tried and tried. In fact, I was told he wasn't available. He wasn't present. So I left it off. And at some point, I was on stage where they came to meet me and say, call this guy, Charles. He's here. And I just said, Mr. Charles, you're going to pronounce your name when you get here, because I'm not sure if it is Quesnay or Quezen, but it's one of them. But I know for sure this is Charles. Welcome, Charles, something. And he came on. He didn't even bother correcting. He just laughed. People laughed and we moved on. When you are wrong, apologize immediately and emphatically. 2 words, immediately and emphatically. There are times I have also mentioned names, and somewhere deep down, I felt this was not the right way. And I say, I am really sorry if I have mispronounced your name. I sincerely apologize. And many times the person says, oh, that's okay. Sometimes you see a few people who will still come on stage and then correct it and say, okay, it is not Kilimanjaro, it is Kilimanjaro or something. So take the learning and correct yourself quickly, emphatically.
Emphatically. Quickly, emphatically. That is a profound response. A profound response. I used to remember Ali Baba would say he does something called a blanket apology, something like that. But yeah, quickly, emphatically. On to the next question. How do I get my confidence levels up? And a master of ceremonies and speaker, but I don't feel 100% confident. I want to become better. I want to become more confident. What do I do? Over to you.
Confidence is a function of knowledge. Confidence is a function of experience. There was a time you were not confident to brush your teeth. So whenever your parents said to you, go and brush your teeth, but now you're confident you brush it because you know what to do, you know how to do it. Full stop. For those who drive, when you started driving, there were times you were not confident to get on the road or to major highways because you were not sure. But now years have gone by, you've had spaced repetition over time. So you've now known what to do and you've had some experience. So confidence has increased. Confidence is directly proportional to the amount of knowledge you have and the quality of experience. So remember my example about keeping water on fire. Just give it time, it will turn to steam. The more you know, the more you practice, the more you show up, the more confident you will be. The person who has been a master of ceremonies for 5 years and the person who has been a master of ceremonies for 5 months rarely will have the same amount of confidence, because whether or not they both know the same thing, the one for 5 years may just have a bit more confidence because they've also had some experience under their belt. So it's a function of knowledge and experience. So allow yourself grace, but by all means get the right knowledge and allow yourself get the experience. Let me answer this other question, which funnily I haven't seen today, but I'm shocked I haven't seen it or heard it, which is about working for free. I do not subscribe to working for free. I forbid MCs to work for free. If you are not working for money, there are 4 other things you can work for. So working for free is out the window. If you're not working for money, you can work for experience. So whether they give you money or not, you might say, I'm taking this event so that I can have experience in doing it. That way, you don't feel cheated or robbed at the end of the event because you collected the value you wanted. You collected the exchange you wanted, which was experience. Second thing you can work for where there is no money involved is network. You want to get into or get exposed to this network of people, which is what people say, oh, we're giving you platform. You know, when we give you platform, people will get to know you. If you agree that you want to work for platform, you want to work for network, I prefer to use the word network because that will also determine whether I agree to it or not. Today, if somebody calls me and says, Joyce, we have absolutely no money to give you, but so and so and so and so sorts of people will be there. Depending on who those people are, Joyce Daniels, 2024, I might accept it because that might be the kind of network I want to be exposed to. So there is that. Third thing is you want to work for marketing materials. So you might agree to work at that event so that you can take some photos, videos, testimonials, things that you can now use to market and sell your service. And the final thing to work for where there's no money involved is love. You can either work because you love the people having the event, or you love the cause that they represent, or you love the person who has asked you to work. So that when you work for any of these four things, whether or not you receive money, you worked for something, you worked in exchange of something. It's not working for free. If it's not one of these four, then you're working for free. And I forbid it. I absolutely forbid it. I'll leave it there. Let's take the last two questions, please.
The last two questions. Ah, I've had a good laugh, and I've learned a lot of. I've relearned. I've relearned on what profit is as an MC. It's monetary, but then it's not tied to only money. Now, the next question I would ask is here. It talks about budget management as an MC. How do I manage budget? What part of my fee should go into my appearance? What part of my fee should go into, let's say, media? What part of my fee, what percentage of my fee should I spend before an event or during an event?
Okay.
Before the event is over and all that.
All
Budget
right.
management.
Thank you. As a rule of thumb for me, and I always teach this to the MCs that I'm privileged to train or mentor, do not ever spend more than 40% of your income from an event on that event. 40% is the upper limit by every standard. For me, this is what I teach Joyce Daniels, that 40% is the upper limit of what you can spend from an event on that event. So if you're paid 100,000 naira, you are not allowed to spend more than 40,000 for your outfit, for your transportation, for your everything else, including your social media, your network gather. 40%. So in that 40K, if you cannot afford to buy brand new clothes, you better go get very good secondhand clothes, or you borrow from someone because you cannot afford to buy. So I always say beg, borrow, or buy, don't steal. If you can't buy, you borrow. If you can't borrow, you beg. Find somebody you can beg to give you the outfits to wear. And I'm not joking, and I'm telling you things that I have done because of the 40% rule. There were times where, because of my 40% rule, when I was living in Uyo, I couldn't fly to Lagos or to Abuja to go deliver my event, because if I was going to fly, it would go beyond my 40%. I would gently, comfortably enter AC bus. And when I could not afford AC bus because of my 40% rule, I would enter what? Non-AC bus, because men are in sizes and life is in phases. Where I could not travel business class because of my 40% rule, I gingerly entered economy, because business class or economy was not about anybody else. Remember, it's about personal sovereignty. It was about me. And I'm deaf. I'm blind to certain things. And so it's what I want to do that I will do. Where the 40% rule will stop you from hiring a makeup artist, please, you will wear your makeup by yourself. That's why I advise, like, anyway, next year I'm going to collaborate with someone to make sure we train MCs in professional makeup artist. I will not be the one teaching. I will just bring the person who taught me to do it professionally. But I would encourage my
Now,
MCs to learn, male and female alike. And I'm not talking about rubbing lipstick. It's about just knowing the right things to do to give you the look you want. So it is 40%. That is what I advise as your allocation to expend on every event from what you earn at that event.
woo!
Final
40%.
question.
Wonderful. Now, before we get to this final question, yes, let me just ask, so that I'm certain that what I am hearing is what every other person is hearing. Are you getting, or have you gotten value from this session? Please, if you have, just wait, calm down. Let me tell you what you're going to write. If you know you are getting value, please write Rabadosh. Rabadosh. Add fire, please. Rabadosh. I don't need to see Rabadosh. I don't. Let me not go into the spirit, but yeah, Rabadosh. Somebody. There's somebody with an
Rabadosh.
iPhone. Type from your iPhone, please type Rabadosh. Rabadosh. If you are getting value, please with your Samsung. Somebody you're holding a Samsung. Oh yes, Minister Peter. Minister Peter. This is what we're talking about. Type Rabadosh. I want to be sure that what I'm hearing is what you are hearing. I'm seeing Kabash, MC Marcos, MC Demarcos, Rabadosh,
Rabadosh.
Rabadosh, Purpose, email, Rabadosh. Please,
Kabash.
I need your Rabadoshes,
The
please.
three.
I need a lot. I need a lot of please, Rabadosh.
Rabadosh.
When a teacher is giving you this and is doling it out in a
This is
flammable
Rabadosh.
method, please, Makan,
Ramadosh.
our minister from the FCT. That is Makan from the FCT. That is Wike's personal MC. Rabadosh. Brave Dios, Rabadosh. This is insightful. This is intriguing. This is mind-boggling. This alters our perspective. This alters our perspective. Now, before I ask the last question, I'm going to ask 2-3 trivia questions about you, Coach.
Okay.
Maybe rituals before events, or one or two other things. Now,
Okay.
I know most of us here are masters of ceremonies. Now, we have heard all this. We have gleaned a lot. We have harvested a lot. We have gotten a lot of anniversary souvenirs in form of knowledge, from the Queen of Talk. I say we do this physically. What would you say, about doing something like this physically next year? We cannot just be doing
Are
this
you
online.
asking
No, we
me?
need to. Yeah, no, I'm asking. No, not you. Not you,
Okay.
my queen. I cannot be asking. No, it's reasonable to approach the truth. No. I'm asking MCs like me who are watching this, who will
Okay.
watch the replay. What say ye? If the majority carries this vote, and then the queen, we have to consent. We have to look at it and then give a verdict. What say you,
Rabadosh.
master ceremonies? If we have a session, and now that she mentioned it, we could have a session where coach comes to talk to us and teach us the ways of mastery as masters of ceremonies. We have people come talk to us about hygiene. We have people come talk to us about the right colors to use to match, what gives, what doesn't give, what colors are complementary, what is not. What else? Makeup. Coach talked about makeup, so that you not go and use blush that will offend somebody that want to hire you for next February, because it's too red here and then here it's too green or it's too brown. These are the things to teach you personal sovereignty, to answer the questions that we cannot exhaust from this session, to teach us about networking. When you meet somebody, what are the first 5 things you can say? How do you construct your elevator pitch? If you're somebody who is shy, on camera, you cannot stand before a camera and say something. How do you cultivate that? We have practical sessions. We record on the spot, and analyze our speeches on the spot. And we're given tasks and we have accountability partners. Somebody's an MC like you who becomes accountable to you and you to that person. What say ye? Wait, Queen of Talk, wait, please. Now let me go to the replies. I'm saying life, please. That is brave. That's a brave thing to say, first of all. Oluwakemi, Rabadosh to you. Rabadosh what to you? Brave the host is saying, yes, we should. Purpose is saying, God, I beg. Oh. Dami is saying, it's a yes for me. Voke is saying, sure. Tonight's impact should multiply, please. If you are in support of this, let's have a session. Preferably, I think somebody said early next year here. Let me check. Somebody said early next year.
Yeah, I saw that.
Somebody
Yes,
Yes,
I was brave.
I've
Yes,
seen
please. Early next year.
early next
Mhm.
year. Yes, I saw early next year.
Mhm.
Where is it?
Yeah,
Where is it?
okay.
Okay, yes.
Brave said
Brave the
so.
host early next year.
Mm.
What say you, masters that are here? Why not
Mhm.
have something like this live in
Our
Lagos? Maybe
time
somewhere.
almost is 9:50. Let's wrap
Coach,
up.
coach, coach. Are we doing this next year
He says, I
live?
will give anything for that. Wow.
Now,
Okay.
let me ask. We have said yes. Now the next question, and quickly, how
Mm,
much do you think? Now we have talked about premium. We've talked about paying to get access to network, get access to the right people, at the same value, commitment value
right
level as
people.
yourself. How
Mm,
much do you think you can commit to something like this? Janice is saying after
yes.
Wiser. Yes, Wiser begins 1st of December. So we can have
Yeah.
this in
Let's
January.
bring it.
How much do you think? I want you to give me, I want you to be sold. You are sold on this. How much do you think something of this package of this sort would cost you? How much do you think you can part with? January next year, Lagos, Nigeria, and you get links to maybe the replace. If you're not in Nigeria, you could
You
join
have
us
not asked
something.
me yet whether
How
we'll do it
much?
or not, so, but I'll be
No,
watching
no,
you.
no, no, no. Coach, no. If we agree, the good book says if two or
The
three people
onus
agree
will
and
now lie on me.
anything under heaven, it
Hmm.
will be done. It will be done. How much do you think? For me, because this is 17, we can do it times 7. We can do it times 10. For me, I'm looking 100. I'm looking 100K. Let me learn this makeup because yes, men do also do makeup. I want to learn how to, yes, stand before the camera and talk, how to do this, how to do I can commit 100K. How much can
Hmm.
you commit? I need figures. Brave the host, be brave enough. Come and show me. How much? Is it 50? Do you think you can do 60? Do you think you can do 70? Do you think you can do 80? It's a live event. This is not online. Live. You are seeing the queen face to face, beholding her glory face to face, so that you can be changed from glory to glory by virtue of new information. How
Okay,
much
once,
can you
once, once people are responding to this, because out of curiosity, I really would like to see what responses will come up. Let me respond to
I'm seeing
Ruth. She's
100.
asked, Ruth.
I'm
Ruth
seeing
has asked this.
100.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Ruth. Ruth
Okay,
is
I can
saying,
see Ruth. She's asked this question a few times: how to get events as starters.
okay, starters. How do you get events as
MCing
starters?
is a business, not a hobby. It's not a joke. It's not a side gig. If you were selling fabrics or selling food, it's the same way you get customers or clients for your food business, for your fabrics, for your tailoring business. If you were selling cars, it's the same principle. And what is that principle? You showcase what you have. You tell people what you can do. You go to them, they don't come to you. Even when a new supermarket is set up, they print flyers and they go give people around the neighborhood to say, we are now in your neighborhood. They go on radio and make announcements. So, as a starter, you will go from the people you know to those you don't know and tell people what you can do. And when you are saying what you can do, you must say it in a way that is believable. If you tell somebody that you know how to do fantastic makeup and what is on your face is trash, will they believe you or not? If you tell someone that, oh, you can MC their event and yet your tenses, your grammar, your tonality, your inflections are off, chances are they will not believe you. So you put yourself together to look like what it is you say you are. But by all means, you will talk to people until you get one person to believe enough to give you an opportunity. That's how any business gets the first clients or first set of clients. The MC business is no different.
That is, Ruth, I believe that is succinct. So stop thinking of yourself as a person. Start thinking like a Fortune 500 company. Yeah. Think like a
Mm.
business. How did ShopRite start? They had one person buy some. There was the first person who bought something, and then they snap the person picture. Say, first customer, yes to the first of 1 million. Like that, like that, like that.
Yeah.
Face, face. Okay, coach. A lot of figures I am. A lot of 50Ks, a lot of hundred
I'm
Ks,
seeing them.
a
Interesting.
lot. Peace is saying with coffee, please. That she's a coffee addict.
She'll
You
bring
are
the
a
coffee.
You are happy. You bring
Peace,
your
you'll bring the
sachet
coffee.
from where you're coming from. All right, a lot of 50 gigs, a lot of 100.
Mm.
How these figures are really in. Two quick questions. What is your
Two, not
pre-event
one.
ritual?
Ah,
What is your pre-event
okay.
ritual? What is your
Pre-event
pre-event? We have
ritual.
we have 7 minutes. Yes.
Pre-event ritual number one is to ask questions. I always make sure is this what you mean? What I do before events, right? I ask a lot of
Yes.
questions. I send in my questionnaire. I make sure I try to have engagement with my clients and be clear to make sure we're all on the same page. Then I spend a lot of time dreaming. I dream about my events. I envisage. I go into I go into the event. I imagine myself on that stage, so I know where the venue is. If it's a venue I've never been to, now I ask for photos. Sometimes I send somebody ahead to do a video or something. But I want to have an idea what that space looks like. I dream. I dream a lot because remember I am deaf and blind to the things around me. I only see what's inside, so I need to create a picture. I imagine what I want my audience to look like, what my audience, how they will respond to me. And so I start scripting. After dreaming, I start writing. And many times, like I have a diary here, I write different things. I can write 4 different ways to handle the event. And on said day, I choose any one. But because I already had a repository of 4 ways, I could, depending on what I see, one of them would come out. So I spend time dreaming, I write, then I conjure. What do I mean? I speak into the day, I speak into the people, I affirm, I call it conjuring. I remind myself of who I am and what it is I do. Then I plan what I wear. And when I plan what I wear, there are certain things that are important to me in the way I dress. I do not want to adjust myself on event day or during my event. So whatever it is I'm wearing must be comfortable enough and must, when I say comfortable, it will leave no room for doubt. It will not create room for doubt so that on event day, I'm not wondering, are they seeing, I hope this, my armpit is not showing, or I hope that zip. No, no, no. So not only do I think about what I wear, I try on what I wear. I don't do it anymore, but in the past, I would even do my makeup. For years, for at least 6 to 7 years, I will do my makeup complete to wear my lashes and the dress for the day. And I walk in front of the mirror, I smile, I'll sit, I'll try different expressions because I want to be sure that I'm super comfortable in this. Now I don't wear makeup but I wear the dress, I wear the shoes, I walk around my home, I sit down, I imagine I'm climbing up the stairs, I come down. I still do that till today. What I'm wearing for my event, I came into a city today. I just got from the airport and I was hoping I could get to my hotel early enough. What I'm wearing for tomorrow, the first thing I did when I came into the hotel room was to bring out my outfit and wear it again and just move around. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Then I called for the laundry to take it to bring it back. So I'm ready. I'm in that space, in that zone. When I arrive the venue, after greeting, I say hello to people. I make friends in quote at the venue, especially the audiovisual people. I get to know their names. I usually do not like to call people, hey, excuse me. I like to say, excuse me, Chimobi, excuse me, peace. Hey, Julius, please. So I get to know them and then I prophesy. Oh, I prophesy. I touch chairs. Some people who have gone for certain events have seen me do this. I touch chairs and I prophesy and I decree the things I want to see in the room. It puts me in charge. Remember, the term is master of ceremonies. So I go in with the scepter of mastery, knowing that I am in control of this event. No other person at the event is called master but me. So I take my work seriously, spiritually, physically, and mentally. I am a no nonsense person when it comes to my job. I take no prisoners. If you come near me, I cut you, because that's my territory given to me by God. When they took the nephew of Abraham, he went with soldiers and he killed to collect his nephew back. I am that. I do not joke with what the Lord has given me as my territory. So these are some of the things I do. And then when I get on stage, we have fun from there. I want to really disabuse this mindset that people have that MCing is just, a thing. Don't play. Because if you play, you will learn. You're going to learn the hard way.
You will learn the. All right, thank you
I
so
don't play
much,
with
coach.
my
That was,
job at all. Mm,
in fact,
yeah.
this is expository. I mean, Hannah Hosanna is saying, yes, this is really expository. It's mind blowing. You are a master. You are not expected to be G3. You're expected to be in control. The event is in your hand, in the palm of your hand. Take
Does it
charge. All
mean
right.
I don't get tense? I do get tense. I still get tense. Last Monday, I was tense because tension for me is energy to fly. When you get on a plane after the taxiing, just before you take off, the plane comes to a stop. Then the engine begins to rev. Then you move with speed and take off. So tension for me, how I interpret it is energy to take off, energy to fly. I might get tense because I've never worked for this client before. I've never worked for this audience before. I've never worked in this room before, blah, blah, blah. But I just flip it in my head quickly and say, this is energy to fly. So tension is normal, should be embraced. It's part of who we are, it's part of what we do. It's normal, absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach. That was mind blowing. Now, I've seen a lot of answers, a lot of 50K, 100K, 50K, 100K, 50K plus coffee, 50K plus
Mhm.
Indomie and sardine. That heard you. The queen will go
Ma,
into her court and think about this. But one
yeah.
way that you can know what her feedback is if you registered with the link to this event. All right. There is an event link. I know there are some people watching here who just, got a YouTube link from somewhere and clicked and they're here. But if you check Joyce Daniels' bio on Instagram or the message, the broadcast message that you saw someone on WhatsApp that brought you here, you see the registration link. Please use that link. Fill the form so that we can reach out to you when the decision is made for next year. Hopefully January. I'm certain January. Coach, we
Ah,
can do this on your birthday. Yeah? We can do this on your birthday, yeah?
mechanic, you're twisting my arm.
On your birthday, yes? Let me book your birthday down now. Let me book it this year. Let's
I'm
book
checking it.
JD's birthday next year.
My
Let
birthday
us book.
is a Friday. That's a good day.
Okay.
We'll do it that day.
That's a good Friday, even if it's not in April or March.
January
That is a good
31st, 2025, would have a day for
Mhm.
MCs. Yes.
All right.
Before then, we will determine exactly what the cost or price will be. It's not a cost, it's a price, it's an investment. I will announce it. So you can as well save it in your calendars now.
Save it in
Friday,
your calendar.
31st January, that will be my birthday, and we'll make it happen. It will be physical. It will be in Lagos, where I live. We will try to have an option for those people who can join in virtually. We'll make it happen.
Somebody say Rabadosh. Somebody say what? Somebody say
Rabadosh.
what? I need this Rabadosh and fire. You're not giving me. You're not. You. There is somebody you are. What you are
Oh yeah,
struggling
let's
to
do our
answer.
last question and close. Let's do our last question. Final question and close, please.
Final
It's past
question.
10.
I said at the beginning, so I'm going to ask it now
Okay.
at the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
What would you say to your 20-year-old master? This is 17. What is your outlook for the next 3 years? And what would you say to the 20-year-old master that is waiting for you somewhere in the future? Somebody asked that in the beginning, and I think this is a good way to wrap this up.
We're constantly evolving. I am constantly evolving. I know that there's some evolution that's going to take place, which has begun. I cannot tell you exactly this is where I'll be or this is what I'll be doing because I'm not even sure. I can maybe tell you what's going to be happening within the next 6 months to 1 year because that's what I'm clearer on. But I may not want to say what it is exactly because of what now? Because of what exactly? Because I'm on the journey. Like I said, I have a coach I'm working with now for what I believe is my next phase. What I do know is this. Sometimes it seems you worked so hard and then all of a sudden you become an overnight success. But all that success is being measured because of all the work that has been put in. I know that my next 3 years will be extremely successful in terms of quality of people I work with, location of people I work with, and the kinds of fees that I will command. That I'm sure of. I've labored. I'm entering into some tipping point. What I can tell you, God-given life, I will still be training. I will still be offering trainings to masters of ceremonies and beyond. The training school, of course, will expand to also accommodate children and teenagers, but I will not be the one offering that. I already know that I will open up and vet the best set of trainers that can join me in training children and teens. You must have some level of experience. There will be criteria to tick boxes. And so I will bring in a few more trainers to be a part of it. Those are some of the things I would say you will see. And something I'm very sure of is I will enjoy every single day as I've enjoyed so far. I will enjoy every single day. And I will have many, many, many other masters of ceremonies around me who will be living in great success because of the knowledge they've acquired and the decisions that they will make. I hope that answers your question.
That answers the question, and to that we say, all right, all right, all right. You know how Matthew McConaughey says it. Ladies, gentlemen, co-celebrants, I want to say thank you so much for making this evening as memorable, as exquisite, and as beautiful as it has become.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for creating time and for spending time here. Understand that money is not the only thing you spend. You spend time. You have spent time here and you've gotten something in return. I want to say thank you so much for joining us. To our coach, to our celebrant, we love you. We appreciate you. We are in awe. We are inspired by what you do, but most importantly, how you do it. Thank you so much for creating time. I mean, you should be in your chambers, in your courts, just relaxing and receiving tributes. But you said, no, let me emerge, let me give, let me rabadosh. And you have done that as
and release some powers. Let's release some powers.
Shaker have dropped, Lefa Sefare have dropped. And we are so, so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you. And
sharing in
he's
my
saying,
joy. Thank you for spending the
oh,
day
he's,
with me. Thank you all
he's saying
so
break.
much for
He's saying,
believing.
he's saying break a leg tomorrow. He's saying
Thank
break
you.
a leg tomorrow. Break
See you.
legs. Break legs. Thank you so much, Coach. And thank
Thank
you
you.
to all our viewers, those who watch the
Thank you,
replays.
mechanic.
Thank you. Please bear in mind, Wiser, December 1st, January 31st, 2025. Mark it in your calendar now, right now. January 31st, 2025. We have a live session in Lagos, Nigeria, and you will be there. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a fantastic week. Dominate, enjoy, thrive, and make money. God bless you.
Bye.
See you soon.
Bye. Good night.